This is our second reflection in our Table Talk series, focusing on Mark chapter 1, verses 35 through 39. I want to ask you a question. How do you feel today? How do you feel about your schedule, about your calendar? See, sometimes we look at our lives and we see it through the lens of the spinning wheel. Have you ever had a pet that was maybe a mouse or a little rat, and it gets on the wheel and it goes and goes and goes and goes, and you look at your life and you're like, that's me. It's a picture of me. I just feel like I'm going and going and going, and I just never stop. You look at your work life and the projects that just keep piling up, or you look at your kids' schedule that's run ragged, and you begin to live with this notion of, I could just get it balanced, I'd be so much better. And then you jump on social media, and it's like you watch someone else's life through that lens, and you go, they're living their best life, and look at my life. It's run ragged, it's frayed and fried, and it's like, I just don't know what to do. And sometimes we even say, I wish we had more hours in the day. Ever feel that? I just wish we had more hours, I'd be able to do more things. And we ask ourselves, is that reality? Is that true? In this moment in Mark chapter 1, we see that Jesus rises early in the morning when it is still dark and goes to a desolate place. Why? Why does Jesus do that? I believe that Jesus does that for a few reasons. One is he understands pressure. He understands the need. He understands the demands on his schedule. I mean, people wanted to be near him. Even the disciples are scurrying him around from this place to that place. The crowds, everyone has something. They're bringing something to him. And Jesus is like, I just need this moment. So Jesus goes and he sets the course of the day in the early part of the day in the desolate, dark place. What else is he doing in this moment? I believe that in this moment he's also listening. See, Jesus didn't do anything that was outside of what the Father had asked him to do, God the Father. And so he needed that space and that time to listen, to get his marching orders, you could call them. But in the midst of all that, I believe that Jesus was also setting a pattern for those who would follow him, to make sure that the rhythms are right. Not to create a balanced life, because I don't think that's reality. What he did was he showed us a way of how to approach life with a healthy internal perspective. Because the outside world is going to try to force us into a mold that goes faster and faster and faster and faster. And the reality is Jesus creates a rhythm of rest and listening and intention. I was thinking about Psalm 23 recently, where it says that the shepherd renews my strength. Or I was thinking about when Jesus says, anyone who's weary and tired and broken, come to me and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon me. Take my yoke upon you. I just love that, because it means that we get to walk in the patterns and rhythms. I want to ask you something as you spend some time reflecting on this moment in Jesus' life, as you listen to what God is saying to you. What needs to go in order to create the space that Jesus set for us? See, a full calendar, a busy life, is not necessarily a successful life. It is one that's left empty and dry. But when we take the time to do what Jesus did, it creates an energy and a perspective on life that creates the God-honoring patterns and rhythms that he designed for us. So as you reflect, take a moment to listen and just jot down what it is that you believe God wants you to remove in order to create the space for him to work.